It's Amanchu. Welcome to Divergence SMP. Today on this very special episode, I'm going to make a cactus farm. It's something that I'm going to need for 1.20. I also am going to need a lot of green dye, so a cactus farm will be helpful. I've already built kind of a demonstration of what the farm will be over here. What I have here is cactus laid out in a 4x4 grid with one space between them all. There's water sources at each of the corners, and then I have these fence posts here. So what will happen is when a cactus grows up, it will be immediately broken by the presence of that fence post, and hopefully breaks off and falls into the water streams, flows into the hopper in the center right here. Or ends up in my hands. That could happen too. And then I have a line of hoppers going from the center out to over here where I'll have a collection chest of some kind. You can see I have a stack here already. So this works fairly well, but cactus takes a long time to grow. I'm going to want to make multiple plots like this. And I thought about putting them like one in each corner of this lower level of my base. Placing it vertically wasn't really going to be practical. However, I went mining for moss. And down here you can see I converted a lot of this stuff to moss and made a nice deep pit down here. That goes from about Y40 all the way down to Y11. So now I have vertical space underneath my base to make the cactus farm. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll put the center of the farm right here. Looks like I have some lights I have to get rid of. For most things that grow, most of the crops that you can plant, they need a certain light level in order to be able to grow. But that's not the case for cactus. They don't care about light levels, so I don't really need to worry about that. Just place sand there in a 4x4 grid with one space between each sand. Very simple layout. It is possible theoretically to pack this cactus even closer together. I could put cactus in those blocks as well, but the problem is that when a cactus breaks off, it's just gonna fly somewhere, and having cactus here would just increases the odds that the broken off entity of cactus will land on some other cactus and be destroyed. So planting it like this is more efficient than packing the cactus closer together. I feel like I should apologize to Sugar Skull and Adorable Ho, who were the ones that actually took on the Wither. And I didn't mention them by name in the last video. It's not because I couldn't remember their names necessarily. I just couldn't remember if they were specifically the ones that took on the Wither. I knew Sugar Skull did. I couldn't remember if Adorable Ho did as well or not. But I knew it was one other person. I haven't seen the video from them yet about how they dealt with that Wither and how much trouble they had with it. But that fight would have been a little more difficult for them because they didn't get to choose the battlefield. The Wither was where it was, and they had no choice in the matter. Now I've set up so these water streams are all going into this hole in the center right here. I don't want to fall off there, but that's where that's going. Now let's give me some scaffolding. Usually I like to build farms from the bottom up. In this case, I'll go from the top down. I'll keep building this thing till I run out of cactus. And see how many levels that gives me. Something I feel that people when they build often don't pay enough attention to, and that's texturing. Just a little bit of detailing can go a long way. I feel like... Then there's the other extreme. If you ever seen Mythical Sausage, he does some really, really amazing builds, but sometimes I feel like he goes a little overboard on the texturing. I can't say that I'm even close to in the same league as his ability to build, but I do feel like his stuff can be a little overboard, a little over the top. But admittedly, I'm also kind of winging this build. I don't have a plan laid out ahead of time. I am adding lights here, but that's mostly for aesthetics. I don't need to worry about mob-proofing anything, and like I said, the lighting isn't going to help the cactus to grow any faster. It will grow as fast as it grows. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I recently saw a video from Foxy No-Tail. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's the guy that invented the one-player sleep add-on for Bedrock Edition. That's the add-on that I suggested earlier on in this SMP that we might want to try using it, and there were some people on the server that were vehemently opposed to it, others that were okay with it, and we had a vote on it. It was 4-4, with one person abstaining because they really didn't want to get into that mess. So it's status quo. We are not using that one-player sleep mod. But I'm better about it now. I don't complain too much about having to sleep when other people want to sleep. And I try not to whine too much when I do need to sleep and other players don't want to, because I figure I've griped enough about it the other way. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I brought that up because he recently did a video where he made a cactus farm, and he was going to make it far more efficient by packing in the cactus closer together than this design. And I kept thinking as he was doing his video and making this build that is not going to work. It's not going to work because you get too much loss from the cactus breaking off and falling onto other cactus and getting destroyed. And then about midway through the video, he went and did this creative world experiment where he tested the efficiency of both types, where you have it spaced out more like I'm doing in my design, and we have more cactus packed close together. And it turned out, through his experiment, he was able to find that packing the cactus closer together was indeed far less efficient, so that you get more cactus if you don't pack them as close together. I was convinced that was true from the beginning, but I didn't actually go to the trouble of testing it like he did. Once I figured out the pattern, laying down each level starts to get pretty easy. Oh, I am enjoying having Swift Sneak too. That's really helpful. There, there, there. There, I don't know, honestly. I think I'm just going to quit this SMP. I mean, I've beaten the Wither. After I've beaten the Wither, what else is there? Let's be honest. There's no point in continuing. I mean, after all, I built every farm that's important. Once I built all the farms, what else is there? It's just getting boring, you know? And these other people are just the worst. They're so inconsiderate. They're all just pretty much assholes. Screw all of them. So as I'm building this, it's just getting to thinking about the 1.20 update that's coming out soon. My prediction is mid-May it'll come out. What part of it are you most looking forward to? Let me know. And also, what do you think the next update will be? Leave me a comment, as long as you comment that the next update is going to be an end update, because everybody knows the next update needs to be an end update. Obviously. Duh. That looks good. Block there. Block there. It's hard to get a good view of this, but I believe that's 7 levels. That can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels. Right. Alright, now the whole thing is built. It's 8 levels tall, going deep underground. Let's see how much Cactus this actually gives me in an hour's time. Alright, so it's been about an hour, and let's see what we get out of this. This farm is 8 levels high, and don't expect to be overwhelmed by this. Almost 2 stacks in an hour. Not great, not terrible. But since this is located at my base, right underneath my base, it's going to be in simulation distance a lot, so it's going to be running a lot. And over time, I should accumulate as much cactus as I'm ever going to need. This farm is really easy to make, and probably worth the effort, even if it does have very slow output. Now I know it's kind of made underground in a cave and it's hard to see exactly what it looks like. I did make a prettier version of this cactus farm, and you can see it in this video here. And make sure to subscribe so you'll find out what cool things I'm up to next time on Amon Chooses Divergence SMP.